It feels like AI is everywhere these days, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's like every day there's some new headline about it.
Exactly. And honestly, it's hard to keep up.
It really is.
Like what's actually real and what's just, hype.
Yeah, especially when it comes to how it's changing, the way we work.
Right. But that's exactly why we're here today.
So like cut through all the noise.
Exactly. We're doing a deep dive into the Freshworks 2024 Global AI Workplace Report.
They surveyed like over 7,000 employees globally.
It's a big one.
And it gives us a real, on the ground, look at what's happening.
And trust me, there are some seriously interesting findings in here.
Oh, yeah. For example, did you know that AI is already saving workers almost 4 hours a week?
4 hours. That's like a whole extra day.
Almost a whole workday every month, yeah.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Let's unpack this.
Okay.
First up, the report revealed that AI adoption in the workplace is basically exploding.
It's not just a niche thing anymore.
Not at all. We're not talking about some far-off future here. Over half of the employees surveyed are already using AI-enhanced software.
It's becoming mainstream.
And it's not just like the tech people over in IT either.
No.
While 85% of IT professionals use AI weekly, get this, a whopping 80% of marketing teams are using it too.
That's right. And that shows how AI is fundamentally changing the marketing landscape.
Wow.
Think about it. AI powers everything from, like targeted ads.
Oh, yeah.
Personalized content recommendations.
Makes sense.
Social media analytics, chatbots. It's giving marketers these incredible tools.
So those personalized ads that seem to follow me around the internet, that's AI.
Exactly.
It's like having a little marketing assistant.
Working 24/7 behind the scenes.
No wonder marketing teams are all about AI.
It's becoming their secret weapon.
And here's something even more interesting. The report talks about something called surprise AI.
Yeah.
Which is that a lot of people are using AI without even realizing it.
Yeah, because it's embedded in like the tools we use every day.
Oh, that's so true.
It's seamlessly integrated,
Yeah, like those helpful email autocomplete features or suggested meeting times that magically work.
Yeah, or those automatically generated notes, from virtual meetings.
Yeah.
That's all AI, just working quietly in the
It
background.
makes things easier and more efficient without us even realizing it.
Exactly.
So think about your own workday. How many of the tools you use rely on AI, even if you're not aware of it?
Probably more than you think.
Right.
It highlights how AI is becoming ubiquitous.
Yeah, it's woven into the fabric of our digital lives.
It really is.
Now, if we're all using AI so much, the big question is it actually making us more productive?
Right. Is it hype or is it really changing things?
And the answer, according to this report, is a resounding yes.
Employees estimate that AI is saving them, on average, a whopping 3 hours and 47 minutes each week.
Wait, almost 4 hours?
Yeah.
That's incredible. Think about it. That's nearly an entire extra month of work time saved every year.
It's a big boost in efficiency. And it's not just, doing the same work faster. It's about freeing up time and mental energy.
Right.
So people can focus on higher value tasks.
The things AI can't do.
Yeah, the kind of work that requires creativity and critical thinking.
Human connection.
Exactly, the things that AI can't replicate.
So AI is like our, super efficient assistant.
Yeah.
Handling those mundane tasks.
Yeah.
So we can focus on the stuff that really requires, our uniquely human skills.
That's right.
It's a pretty compelling vision of the future of work.
It is. AI is enabling this shift from just transactional tasks to more, strategic and creative roles.
So we're seeing the definition of knowledge work evolve before our eyes.
It really is. It really is. And speaking of those higher value tasks, imagine you had like an extra month of work time every year.
Whoa.
What would you do with that?
Really makes you think about the possibilities.
It does.
But with all this talk about AI's potential, we have to address the question of measurement.
Right.
How do we actually know if it's all living up to the hype?
Yeah.
How do we quantify its value?
You're right. We can't just rely on like anecdotes or gut feelings.
No, we need data
We need solid metrics.
to understand its real impact.
And the Freshworks report looks at this.
So what are they doing? How are they measuring AI's success
Well, it seems that senior leaders are mostly focused on productivity
as the main metric?
as the key metric for, evaluating AI's ROI,
Makes sense.
which makes sense, right?
Increased productivity, could lead to higher output potentially higher revenue.
Exactly, a more efficient workforce.
Yeah, but I imagine it's not always that simple.
You're right. The report says over a third of employees don't have clear metrics.
For measuring how AI contributes to their productivity.
It's not always like a straightforward calculation.
Yeah, how do you measure something like improved decision-making?
Right.
Or the time saved by not having to manually go through tons of data?
Right.
These are real benefits, but they're not always easy to put a number on.
Exactly. It's like trying to measure, the value of a good night's sleep.
It makes a difference, but
It makes a difference.
how do you measure it?
Right.
So we're still figuring out how to best measure AI's full impact.
Yeah.
It's not just about, how many widgets are produced per hour.
It's about understanding the ways it's enhancing our work.
The subtle ways.
Yeah.
So if I'm hearing you correctly, we need to develop more sophisticated approaches.
I think so, yeah.
Think beyond those traditional productivity metrics.
And find ways to capture, the full value that AI is bringing.
Which brings us to another interesting question for you, dear listener.
Yeah.
How would you measure the value of AI in your workplace?
What metrics would you use?
What metrics would you use to capture both the tangible and intangible benefits?
It's a great question to consider as AI, becomes more integrated into our work lives.
Right.
It's essential for making informed decisions.
Speaking of AI's growing role in the workplace, it's understandable that some people might be feeling a bit apprehensive, even a bit wary. Are our jobs safe? Can we really trust these machines?
These are the kind of questions that keep popping up.
Everywhere.
Everywhere.
In the news and on social media.
Yeah, it's understandable.
But the findings from this report actually paint a more, optimistic picture.
I think so.
Okay, tell me more. What makes you say that?
Well, despite all the anxieties, 72% of employees actually trust AI to bring value to their work.
72%. That's surprisingly high considering all the doom and gloom predictions you hear.
Yeah, it suggests that at least in the workplace, people are seeing the benefits.
They're seeing it firsthand.
Yeah, and they're starting to see it as a tool that can help their work, not replace them.
So instead of fearing AI as this job-stealing robot,
Right.
people are starting to see it as a helpful colleague.
Exactly, like having a really skilled assistant who can, handle those tedious tasks.
So you can focus on the more interesting parts of your job?
Right.
But I'm guessing it's not a universal feeling?
No.
There are probably differences in how different generations view AI.
Absolutely. The report points out a clear generational divide.
Well,
Younger workers like millennials and Gen Z tend to be much more comfortable with AI.
than older generations.
Yeah, which makes sense. They've grown up surrounded by technology.
They're digital natives. AI is just another tool for them.
Right.
But for those who didn't grow up with it, there's going to be a steeper learning curve.
True.
Maybe a bit more skepticism.
For sure, it's all about familiarity and exposure.
Right. The more people interact with AI and see its benefits.
The more comfortable they'll become.
So what can we do to bridge that generational gap and build trust in AI across the board?
How do we address those concerns about job security and the ethical implications?
That's a big one.
That's where responsible AI development comes in.
Okay.
It's crucial that we develop and deploy AI in a way that's, transparent,
Accountable.
accountable, and aligned with human values.
It's not just about building cool tech.
Right. It's about building tech that benefits society.
Because if people don't trust the technology, they're not going to use it.
Exactly. And trust is built on understanding.
Right.
We need to educate people about, how AI works,
Its limitations.
its limitations, and its potential.
Demystify it.
Yeah, and have open and honest conversations about, the ethical considerations.
So it's not just about building better AI, it's about building a better understanding of AI.
Exactly.
Now, let me ask you, dear listener, what level of trust do you have in AI?
Yeah.
What are your concerns, if any?
It's something we should all be thinking about.
It's going to have a big impact on how we live and work.
AI is not just a technological advancement.
It's a societal one.
Yeah.
Speaking of societal impact, another interesting thing from the report is the global perspective.
Yeah.
It turns out there are some, big regional differences in how countries are embracing this technology.
It's not one size fits all.
Different cultures, different economies, different priorities.
It all plays a role
And shaping how AI is adopted.
around the world.
And here's a real shocker. The U.S. is actually lagging behind in terms of adoption, trust, and comfort with AI.
Compared to other countries.
Which is surprising considering, we're often seen as a leader in AI development.
Right.
So what's going on? Why is the U.S. falling behind?
I think it's probably a few things.
Okay.
Cultural attitudes towards technology play a role.
In some cultures, there's more willingness to embrace new tech,
Experiment.
while in others, there's more caution.
Skepticism.
Makes sense.
Also, the regulatory landscape is different from country to country.
So some governments are more proactive in creating, frameworks for AI governance.
While others are taking a more hands-off approach.
So it's not just about the technology.
It's about the whole ecosystem around it.
The regulations, the culture, the education system, all these things affect how quickly AI is adopted.
Exactly. It's a complex interplay of factors.
And the countries leading the way are the ones that have created an environment where AI can thrive.
That's right.
So who are these AI leaders? Who should we be learning from?
Well, the report says countries like India and the UAE are at the forefront.
Of integrating AI into the workplace.
Yeah, they have higher adoption rates, more trust, and a workforce that's more comfortable.
Working with these intelligent machines.
That's right.
So what are they doing differently?
Well, it seems like it comes from a few things.
Okay.
One, they really emphasize STEM education and skills development
So their workforce is ready.
for an AI-driven world.
Smart.
They've also been proactive in creating those supportive regulatory frameworks.
To encourage innovation, but also address those ethical concerns.
Right.
And maybe there's also a cultural element, a greater openness to new technologies.
It's possible. Yeah, it seems they found a balance between fostering innovation and, ensuring responsible AI development
So there's a lot the U.S. could learn
from these AI leaders.
about the key ingredients for success.
Absolutely.
It's not about copying them exactly, but about understanding those key ingredients and adapting them.
To our own context.
Now, speaking of workforce preparedness, the report also highlights a growing skills gap.
When it comes to AI,
More than 2/3 of workers say they want to develop their AI skills.
to stay marketable.
And companies are requiring AI experience for new hires across departments.
Not just in tech roles.
It's a clear signal that AI literacy is becoming essential.
In the modern workplace,
It's not optional anymore.
it's becoming a fundamental requirement.
Across industries.
Exactly. And it's not just technical skills.
Right.
It's also about critical thinking, problem solving.
And working effectively with AI tools.
Right. Understanding how to use AI to enhance your work, not be replaced by it.
So the million-dollar question for you, dear listener, what steps are you taking to future-proof your career?
Are you learning new skills, looking for training opportunities?
Are you exploring how AI can be integrated into your current role?
These are questions we should all be asking ourselves.
The future of work is being shaped by AI.
And those who embrace it will thrive.
It's a really exciting time to be working.
It is. We've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive into the Freshworks report.
We've seen how AI is being adopted, across all these different industries,
How it's impacting productivity.
and how workers are starting to view this technology
We've gone beyond the headlines and explored the real ways AI is changing the workplace.
for both employees and organizations.
Yeah, and we've looked at some of the challenges, too.
The questions that come with this, new era of AI-powered work,
From measuring its real impact to building trust.
especially across different generations.
It's clear that AI is no longer this, futuristic concept.
It's here.
It's a reality that's shaping the present and the future of work.
So before we wrap up, let's recap some key takeaways.
Okay.
What are the big things listeners should remember?
Well, first, AI adoption is speeding up. It's not just tech companies anymore.
Or IT departments.
We're seeing AI integrated into a wide range of, industries and departments,
And like marketing and sales.
finance, even legal teams.
It's like AI is becoming the universal language of the workplace.
Everyone needs to be familiar with it.
And with that, widespread adoption, we're seeing a big impact on productivity.
Employees are saving hours each week,
Thanks to AI,
which frees them up to focus on those higher value tasks.
the ones that require those human skills.
Creativity, critical thinking, problem solving.
It's not just about working faster, it's about working smarter.
Exactly. But as we said, measuring that impact is still a work in progress
We need better metrics,
to capture both the tangible and intangible benefits of AI.
including those soft benefits like we talked about.
Improved decision making
It's like we need a new set of tools.
to understand AI's value.
Yeah, we also talked about trust.
Yeah.
And while trust is growing, there's still those generational differences.
In comfort levels.
Responsible AI development transparency, those open conversations about ethics
Those are all crucial.
for building trust and making sure AI benefits everyone.
It's like building a bridge between the old and the new.
Making sure everyone feels comfortable and confident in this AI-powered future.
Exactly. And then there's the global side of things.
We saw how the U.S. is surprisingly behind other countries.
like India and the UAE.
when it comes to AI adoption?
There's a lot we can learn from these AI leaders
About what works.
who've created supportive ecosystems for this technology to grow.
It's a reminder that AI isn't just a tech race. It's a global one.
And the countries that embrace it strategically will benefit the most.
And lastly, we talked about the skills gap.
The demand for AI literacy is increasing rapidly.
Continuous learning and upskilling are a must.
For anyone who wants to succeed in this new world of work,
It's like we're all students again
constantly learning and adapting,
to keep up with technology.
I think that's a great way to put it. The key is that we all have a part to play in shaping AI in the workplace.
It's not happening to us. It's something we're creating together.
That's right.
So what does this all mean for you, the listener?
What's the one big thing you should take away? I'd say the biggest takeaway is that the time to embrace AI is now.
Don't be intimidated by it.
Start exploring how AI can help you work better and open up new opportunities.
AI is a tool.
And like any tool.
It's up to us to use it well.
Now, as we were looking through the report, one thing really stood out to me.
Oh, yeah.
It said that nearly half of workers are afraid of AI replacing those entry-level jobs.
Oh, I can see why that's a concern.
Yeah. If those jobs get automated, how will future generations get the experience they need?
To move up in their careers.
Will it create this, digital divide where some people get left behind?
That's a great point. It's like AI could change the whole career ladder.
Creating new challenges and opportunities we need to think about.
It seems we have a lot more to explore when it comes to AI.
We do.
But for now, we've reached the end of our deep dive.
Thanks for joining us.
And to you, our listener, keep learning, keep questioning, and keep pushing the limits of what's possible with AI.
The future is in our hands.
It really is. It really is.